Hi everyone, Dave here, Fit and Healthy Forever. I wanted to do a series on exercise technique, and I thought the best place to start would be with arms, so biceps, triceps. What's brought this on is, in commercial gyms you see a lot of people doing exercises completely wrong, and there's no one there to go to them and say, can I help you? You know, you may be able to do this better, to get better results from it. And it used to eat away at me when I was training in there. That was one of the reasons that I set up in my own home or my own garage, because it distracted me to watch people doing things the wrong way. No one was going over and showing them. And I did do a few times, but that takes away from my workout. Back in the day, we used to have gym instructors who were there solely to go around, help people, show them the correct techniques and so on. That doesn't happen anymore. Their personal trainers won't give you any advice unless you're paying them to do so. So I wanted to start with arms, and we'll work through all the body parts over the coming weeks and try and show you how it should be done properly. Taking the ego away, no heavy weights. Heavy weight is relative to your strength. So let's start getting the basics right and then building up the weight so that you can start to put a little bit of muscular tone on. So what I wanted to start with is biceps. When you do biceps exercises, every exercise you do is stretch and squeeze. So with a biceps, in that position you're stretching the biceps, in that position you're squeezing the bicep. So that's keeping it simple. They're also called concentric and eccentric, but we'll keep it as stretch and squeeze. So if you were doing, for argument's sake, a bicep curl, right, if you let your arms go all the way down so that they're virtually locked out, you can hold that position indefinitely. Same at the top, if you go to there, you can hold that position indefinitely. But if you go from there to there, that keeps constant tension on the bicep. It's not giving it any rest at all. If you get somewhere there and you try and see how long you can hold that weight for, if it's a difficult weight for you, you can't hold it for a long time, but there you can hold it all day long virtually. Wouldn't make any difference, but it's not doing anything. So you start from there, sort of, I don't know, 6 inches away from your midriff, come up to just sort of shoulder height, down, up, down. Now this gives constant tension on the muscle. This applies to any bicep movement. So even if you were doing hammer curls, you'd start there, you'd come to there, down, there, down. Now what you should aim to be doing is you want to pause at the top. So if you can pause it for sort of 1 second and try and squeeze the bicep, try and feel the bicep squeeze. Now I try to do 1 to 2 seconds up, pause for a second, 3 to 4 seconds slow, down. Because that eccentric portion, which is the down bit, you get just as much, shall we say, muscle damage, muscle tear, than you would with the concentric part, which is the squeeze. So if you can slow it right down to the position of where we started from, then back up, you're going to get double the amount of micro tears. That's when you work a muscle, you stimulate a muscle, you're causing micro tears in the muscle. Then when you feed the body, they repair and get stronger. So basically you're micro tearing the muscle. That's what you're aiming to do. But if you're going from there, there's nothing in the start, there's no tension at all. So you go to there, and again, no tension. So you're only getting a bit of tension. Try and keep the tension on it. Also, speaking of taking the ego away, don't do this business. The weight's too much. An advanced bodybuilder or an advanced trainer could do a little bit of a cheat to get the weight moving, but you need to know what you're doing with that. I'm aiming this at people who basically don't really know how to do the exercises correctly. They've watched someone else and Joe Bloggs does them this way, so that's the way it must be done. I want this to try and show you not only the best way to try and get some muscle tone, if that's what you're looking for, and muscular size, but also lessen the chance of injury. That's the biceps. Always with arm exercises, when you're curling, the upper arm shouldn't move at all. So that's tucked into your side and you're curling with just the forearms and hands. So you're going from there to there, there to there. That's basically the movement, the range of movement. Now, if we move on to triceps, which is the back of the arm, triceps is probably the only exercise that I would suggest you could lock out on. Normally we don't lock out on exercises because that puts the pressure on the joint, not the muscle. My personal opinion is there's a slight difference with triceps. If you squeeze your arm like that, you should see your tricep there, the definition in your tricep. I think you need to get that squeeze at the bottom of the exercise to work the tricep properly. That's my opinion. So if you were doing like a tricep push down, you would start from there. So it's virtually parallel with the floor. You'd go down to the bottom, squeeze, and then slowly back up. Same again, you're trying to get a 1 to 2 second down, squeeze for 1 second, 3 to 4 seconds up. So leave your ego at the door, choose a weight that you can get sort of 8 to 12 reps, which is the normal, what they call the sweet spot. And then once you're in that range of 8 to 12, you need to keep progressing the weight within your capabilities. So if you can only just barely do 7 or 8 before you fail, you're not ready yet to move the weight up. If you can get 10 or 11 and you're well within yourself, then you need to increase the weight. A lot of commercial gyms don't have smaller weights, so you've got to increase in 2.5s and so on. What you could do, if you're using a weight that you can get 7 or 8, and then you move, a week or two later you can move up to 10 or 11 with them. Do the 10 or 11, then do a drop set, come down one and then rep out again to try and increase the size, the strength of your muscle so that you can move on then. Now, there's a lot of different exercises. This is something, your basic bicep curls with a barbell or dumbbells will suffice for now for you, okay? Your triceps, you're looking at push downs, but don't do this business. You're getting nothing from it. And arms parallel with the floor, to the bottom, squeeze the tricep, back up, okay? Now if you were doing what they call a dumbbell kickback, you would use a dumbbell there, you're holding on or you're kneeling on a bench, upper arm stays still, tucked into the body. So all that's moving again, forearm, go back, squeeze, forward again. Back, squeeze, forward again. That's another tricep exercise. Try and stick to these principles because when you go into gyms, they're not cheap for memberships. So if you've got a goal, something you want to attain in the future, by doing exercises wrong, you're either going to get injured or you're going to get 0 results or minimal at best. So go into the gym, focus on what you're doing, have a clear goal in mind, always try to increase your weight well within your rep range that you're going in. So if you're trying to build muscle or tone muscle, to me, building and toning is the same thing. You've still got to stimulate the muscle, whether you're building it or toning it. So don't get caught up in that, that's my opinion. I don't see the difference. But what you're trying to do, if you stay in an 8 to 12 rep range, and as soon as you're comfortably in that rep range, increase your weight. Now, without stereotyping, just for the girls out there, I've never known a man yet who doesn't want bigger arms when he's training. Girls, I have had this comment when I've worked in gyms before, I don't want to get too big. Now, please pay attention to this. You haven't got the same testosterone levels that men have got. You are not going to get big unless you're taking some sort of enhancement. So please, train your ass off. And then if you're getting too big, come back to me and say, I told you so. But I'll guarantee you will not be getting too big. I could show you videos on YouTube of professional athletes who train their ass off, girls, and they do not get huge. They just don't get huge. But what you will get is a good level of muscle tone. So please try it. Leave me any comments. like and subscribe if the video has been helpful to you. And until the next video, stay fit and healthy forever, and I'll be back with you soon. Thank you.